One.
Hello, and welcome to the writers class.
Oh, I was gonna say woman.
And really, and you just got up? Like, who does that?
I'm back.
You're back?
It was in a flash.
It was in a. I can't.
I mean,
well, no,
wait,
really.
Is that copyrighted?
I'm Jade.
Oh, I'm Winona. Oh, right. Yeah. High five.
High five.
Social distance style.
Did you
I'm
just
so slow right now.
You just,
oh my word.
You just were like, oh wait, what's my name? I don't know what my name is.
Yep. As a narcissist, I forgot my own name.
I mean, we know it's Monday at 3 p.m., but come on.
I was not drinking.
I know we were not.
I'm thinking about drinking.
Maybe she would remember her name. That would be exciting. I'm just saying.
But no, this is better than the time where I thought my name was the bourbon I was thinking about.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, I'm gonna have a little bourbon and maybe just on the eyes. And she was like, she was like, I'm Jade, and you are, and I was like, blah blah blah's bourbon.
I'm Bullet.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. I was like, why?
I'm Old Forester. Yeah.
Like, why? Some days you think you could dial it in. I was like, I can just call this one in. Nope.
Anyway, that one.
Just thinking about bourbon. That's really. That was
I'm not an alcoholic.
That was a very interesting day. I was like, well, all right, you can be that today. Sure, why not? All right. So we go literary life guys with pop poetry. Yes, y'all. Sometimes we do have wise things to say. Just
on the page.
On the page, though.
On the page.
Wow, that's ridiculous. All right, and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy. If only I would meet a memoir in verse, foreign coffee, and Widow's Debt series, all where you can get your audio books where you like to get them, or you can get my favorite book. All right, and I thought I did my journey alone. Soon to be an audiobook, and all the other books that the ladies have written, and everything you want to know about the ladies on www.andithoughtladies.com. But y'all aren't here to hear about me.
You're here to hear about our wonderful guests.
Wonderful guests.
Would you like to?
Hello. Yes, I would love to. You two are a hoot. So I'm Camielle Pagan. I'm told I should share 3 things about myself. So I'm a #1 Amazon bestselling author. I am a writing coach, and oh gosh, what else?
You love coffee?
I like bourbon.
Oh, you need to be better than coffee. I don't know. We're not. Like, I think they're on equal footing. Like,
I mean, yes, you need one. One gets you started and one gets you finished.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You love bourbon. This is gonna be.
I'm allergic to coffee. Bourbon is always a little higher. I mean,
I would take being allergic to coffee over being allergic to bourbon, personally.
Yes, absolutely, hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
What would I do?
I don't know.
But anyway,
what does a writing coach do? Because I think that's what we're supposed to be here to ask you questions.
Professional questions, nice.
All right, professional questions, and I like the unprofessional ones too. So I am a certified life coach. I was writing for about 5 years and was in a career slump, even though it looked good from the outside, and had a major setback. My publisher didn't want my favorite book of all. I was like, oh, this is the best book I've ever written. They said, nope. And so I hired a coach, and it totally turned my life around. It was amazing. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I had an opportunity to get certified as a coach. I was already more or less coaching writers on how to become career authors. So how to make money writing books, how to turn it into a career. But I was missing the mindset piece, which is really all it is, right? Everything that you need to do is on the internet already, like how to publish a book, how to write a story. The mindset stuff is what we struggle with. So I went and got certified and now have an active practice. That's half of what I do all day. I write in the morning, I coach all afternoon. Love it.
So you have to tell us what that book was, and did you publish it?
I didn't. I actually realized it was one of the best things that ever could have happened to me. But at the time, it just feels painful, right? The book wasn't that good. And I was like, oh, it's amazing. It really needs to come out. And it was different from my other books. And my publisher was just like, no, we don't think that this is really your best work. And so I could have self-published it. I have self-published a book before. I really loved the experience. When I had some distance and really went through my thoughts about why I was so upset, it wasn't the right book for me. So
I'm not gonna lie, it would have been me and I'd have self-published it. And all my regrets would have been like, oh my God, this was a terrible book. And then I'm like, well, it's out there now.
I am a keep moving person. And at that point, I'd waited so long for this feedback because publishing is slow, right? It's not a fast business that I'd already gone on to the next book, which turned out to be a really good book. And I was just over it already. So that's, I have a lot of friends who mostly self publish. And that pace is nice because when you love the book, you just put it out. But traditional, you're just waiting and waiting. Is there a sale? Can we get some feedback? How much money? And 18 months later, your book comes out. It's a slog.
Okay. So we just jumped into the traditional thing. Oh my God, you're so right.
It's slow, y'all.
It's slow. And if you're a person who likes fast, and I do, so I self-publish some of my books now too, for that reason.
I forget what the book it was that we bought. I mean, like, what is that? Oh, right, that thing. I forgot. It's been 18 months.
Yes.
A half ago.
An editor emailed me with a question about the book, and I was like, "What book are you talking about?"
Oh, you mean that thing?
They're like, "We only have one book. We did the research. You only have one book with us." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I got a lot with me."
So who are you talking about? Yeah. This is a great problem to have, though. Like, even some of my close friends, they're like, "What book?" And I'm like, "You don't need to know. It's okay. I'm on top of it. I'm just putting out all the books. I'm at number 10 and counting." Yeah.
Well, see, and this is a great problem to have. So
Yes.
you teach people how to make money while writing and like
First of
making
all-
it a career, because a career indicates money. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Jade's favorite saying.
I just have to keep saying it because people are like, oh no, when you have a writing career, you can't expect to have money. I'm just like, so a career
It's
that doesn't
such
make
a lie.
money,
Yes.
like that's not a career. That
It's
I don't
like
know what that is.
gatekeepers and other people trying to narrow the playing field. I don't believe that. I am not the best writer, you guys. Like, I'm not saying that to be self-deprecating. Writing's subjective, but there are certainly people who write better books than me. It's the show up and keep publishing, right? That's how you do it. That's how you get better. My first book is so bad compared to my ninth book. It's how it's supposed to be, right? You can make money. All you have to do is believe that you can. And then you just keep showing up, keep dealing with it. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just want to say, I want to jump onto the bandwagon here. So like, we published, self-published, and then I went to school, and then that's what they kept teaching me, like the entire time I was in school, is if you write and make money, then you're not a true writer. And I was like, this seems very odd.
Says who? Some old
And I'm
white
like,
dude in a castle? No.
The only way I can pay for these classes is because I write and make money.
I don't understand. They're telling me, oh, you have a fabulous writing career, but you're telling me not to make money. I was like, so writing's a dead-end job? Like, but even in dead-end jobs, you make money.
Yeah. It's like pretending like we don't live in a capitalist society. So what is money? It is a sign of value. Someone has valued your thing. So of course you want to make money from your writing. It means that people are valuing your work. And the more you put out, the more value you get back. You get paid for it.
And I find it odd. Our talent manager told us once, the first talent manager was like, you are in the entertainment business. And I was like, no, I write books. And then I really stopped to think about it. And I'm like,
We are. Yeah.
I was like, if I wanted to be a A-list actor, I would not be like, I'm doing movies for free.
No. It's crazy.
I mean,
it was the first time when she said like careers make money. I was like, oh, I see what she means.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But
like
anyway.
if you were an A-list actor, you want to do a film for free because you thought I should give back. That's a different story because all right, I showed up to this indie film, did it for free because this is what gave me my career.
Yes.
Sure.
And like,
fight it.
What is the sexism and racism implicit in people telling us that we shouldn't do it for money? This is what I come at it with. Like, tell me why. Because who do you find mostly writing books? Most books are by women. Most readers are women. I feel like that's a way to keep people, different voices, differently abled, women of color, to keep them out. No, everyone can do this and there's room. Readers, like anyone you know who reads a ton of books, they're like, no, I ran out of books. Tell me who to read next because I've read it all. Like, readers are waiting. There is room for all of us. So I just don't believe this crap that you can't do it, can't make money. Like, says who? Gatekeepers. No.
I think you've already answered this question, but I'm going to ask it so I can seem semi-professional.
Yes, let's do it again. Professional.
I'm ready.
So when you are faced with this, like, I find it's a different crowd that tend to have this perspective. When you are faced with this different crowd that is definitely more prestigious normally, how do you answer this question without seeming like a total jerk.
What's the question?
About like writers aren't supposed to make money, and if you are,
Oh,
you're not a true writer.
yeah. I mean,
Only one section of the whole writing business that's like, but now.
yeah, what has value? And again, I say like if you really were honest about what you're saying has value, what are the biases in there? I just don't believe it. And it's like who was that who said, good for her, not for me? I think those people can go have their opinions all they want, and I'm over here getting my royalty checks. End of story.
Just that's how you were just like, I'm getting my royalty checks. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes. And I love the work. I love to, craft a good sentence, tell a good story. I try to get better with every book, but also to me, want to get paid for my work. There's no problem there. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
now let's jump off of the subject
wait,
completely.
I have another question. How can writers value themselves and then transfer that into dollars and cents?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Right? Didn't that sound extra professional? What? Jade is bringing it.
Wait, we ruined it with that, but okay.
Jade is
That
bringing
is such a good question. So the value is about like putting your horse binders on and really doing your own thing. The minute you start looking around and getting concerned about what everyone else is doing, why is this person selling too much? Why did they have an agent and I don't? Then we just get like dragged down by self-doubt. So you really have to see yourself as a category of one. Like there's only you. There's one you. No one else can do it your way. So when I'm coaching people on like how to sell a book, I look at the 2/3 formula. So it should be 2/3 similar to something in the marketplace. So you can say, it's sort of like whatever, Gone Girl, whatever the thing was that sold. 1/3 is your spin on it, how it's uniquely your own. And that's really kind of the formula that allows publishers to see that you fit on the marketplace, but you're going to show up with something different. So you might actually be 3/3 different, but you need to tell other people kind of what you're like so that they get an idea. It's like if you've had a meal for the first time, you're like, well, it's sort of like this, but it's a little spicier. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll try it. That's what you're doing. There was a second part of that question that I can't remember.
And how can they translate that value to in cents?
Yeah. So I run a mastermind for how to be a career author, and the thing that I start with that is really the main point is you just have to create a lot of work. And so the valuing yourself allows you to create a lot of work because you're just doing your own thing. You're out there showing up for yourself, not worrying about if it's not being perfect because there's no such thing, right? But we trick ourselves into thinking that somehow we can do it just right. But no, you don't do that. Just keep writing, putting out the books more and more. The more you create, there's this beautiful thing in writing where you can create passive income. Because let's say someone reads your 13th book. Then they're going to go back and read all those other books and the money comes to you. When you're starting off with that first book, the money's probably not coming in, and that's tough. And I do recommend like you be your own benefactor. Go have another side hustle, gig, job, whatever. This idea that you have to drop everything to write, it's not realistic for most people. And that's fine. Yeah, you can get it done in an hour or two a day easily.
I love that. I love that because as a reader, like I was a lifelong reader before I was a writer at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I picked up your 5th book and it was fabulous, I'm reading everything before it and everything after it. Like if
That's
you're
right.
in a book series, I'm reading it all. Like I'm eventually gonna get every last one of them because I need to know how it began and I need to know how it ends.
Yes.
And I don't know why I picked up the 5th book, but here I am.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's how we find books. It's usually not in order.
No.
Yeah.
And honestly, I find that people's 3rd, 4th, and 5th books are amazing. Like their first book is the introduction of everything, and you're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
And you're very happy you didn't read that first. Because that would
But then you value the writing even more. You're like, look how far you came. People are worried that if someone reads their first book, they'll be like, no, because you can see the difference.
I hang
like,
in
oh,
there.
you're improving.
With new series, as a writer, I'm a reader. I'm still a reader. Like I'm an avid reader. I hang in there. I be like, all right, the first book, not so good. The second book, a little better. 3rd book, we're getting there. By the 4th book, I'll be like, yes. Even I'll give you to the 5th book. If you
now you're warming up.
In the 5th book, like I don't know. I'll probably have your 6. Yes. See what we're doing. Still buying it.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So okay. I was gonna ask a question. And
Yeah. What's the
okay,
question?
so I have a question of confusion, meaning it was confused in my own mind.
Question
So it's
of
gonna
confusion.
I think
Listen will notice confusion now.
this should be a part. Like I feel like we should add this to every show.
I can't do
Well,
it.
mine is confusion. All right, here we go.
Question. So I'm sorry, I was reading your bio. Do you write for the Washington Post or were you on the Washington Post bestseller?
I was on the Washington Post bestseller list. I have written for most other publications you can think of, but not the Washington Post.
Oh, what are the other publications?
So I've written for the New York Times. I've written for Real Simple, Parade, Forbes, Fortune, everyone. That used to be my day job. So I was a journalist, and I would cover health and psychology for other publications. Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
thought I got it in. I was like, what? Tell me you covered it.
Tell me you covered
Yeah.
it. And
I
then
didn't-
it would be like, you write poetry and they don't get paid, so go away. And you'd be like, okay, true, but not for us, but okay, true.
I don't cover books because I feel like it would ruin it for me. I love to just read, just, dive into a book, not worry so much about rating it or reviewing it. Like, I feel as writers, one of the things we have to do is keep reading for joy. And it gets harder to do that. You know too much, you're really critical. People are asking you to read their books because they want a blurb, which is part of the business, and that's fine, but you got to keep the joy in there. And that's why I don't do book reviews, nothing like that. I'll review people's books on Amazon, right? But nothing like reviews for professional publications.
I just want to say that, as writers, we always we will review for Amazon.
Right. That we always say that.
We
like,
all want reviews for Amazon.
so we don't.
Because that's how it shows up for other people. That's how they see you. The stupid algorithm thing.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said that you did both sides. You did traditional publish and self-publish. How do they compare, and what are the pros and cons of both? Just give us a short,
Yeah.
2 sentences each, maybe 2 points.
So I self-published a novella last year. I had done it with Audible. They said once we put it up for a year, you can have it and you can publish it on your own. And I loved that process so much. I got to pick my own cover, and it was so good that people didn't know it was self-published, right? Because I was like, oh, I know what my books look like. I can do more of that. I wrote the blurb for it, published it, made pretty good money on it. And it was just such a lovely process to have control and to have that speed. That's one of the main advantages. There was no 18 months or 12 months or whatever. It was just like, put it up, it's for sale, go. 2 months later, you get your money. So that was great. Traditional, I mean, a lot of people want it because they feel like it'll validate them, and I totally get that. I would never say don't go for it. It is nice to have like a whole team proofreading your book, copy editing it, all of that. And if they pay you up front in advance, that's nice too. There are pros and cons to both. I do love self-publishing for this modern era though. It's just a way to like get your work out there fast, keep creating, go.
I think what we forgot to ask was a very simple question. We were so busy doing the professional and the confused questions.
Oh yeah.
So what genre do you write in, and can you tell us a few titles?
Oh yeah. So I write what is classified as women's fiction. I'd say it's contemporary fiction centered around a woman's life usually. I have had male protagonists before, and they're usually life affirming with some romance in there. So my latest is Everything Must Go. And then I've written, some of my favorites are I'm Fine and Neither Are You, Woman Last Seen in Her 30s, and Life and Other Near-Death Experiences. Love titles, as you might have guessed.
I love it.
I love to come up with titles.
Right?
Have the fun. Yeah.
It is half the fun.
Yeah. Unless you're trying to be ironic, and then it's just so much work. I will never do another ironic.
I let them come to me. I just wait. I start writing, and then they just show up in my head, and I tell my publisher, and they're always like, "Are you sure?" And I'm always like, "Yes, I'm sure." And then people love them. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, if only I were me, that's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. That's the title of my book, and I think it's hysterical.
Okay. That was that question.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then the other
also-
question is,
So, what 2 pieces of advice that you would give writers out here to keep going, and then where
Yeah.
can people find out more about you and write you some reviews?
love it. So The main advice I give all the time, and if you've heard this before, it's worth repeating. Write the book that you want to read. So there's so much advice out there about writing to market, what's selling right now, looking at what's hot, what's trendy. No, go write the book that you want to see on the shelves that you can't find. Those are always my best books. I've tried both ways. I've had my publisher be like, "Oh, we really want you to write more like family-oriented stories." Those books are good, but the ones I wrote for myself, I will tell you, now that I'm 9 books in, there's a clear trend. They sell better. They just do. It's not a coincidence. It's because I wrote for myself and something I really loved and believed in. So that would be my advice. And then also just don't listen to anyone who tells you you can't do it, right? You go to these, whatever, like writing conferences, and some guy stands up there and says, if you can do anything else, do that. Like, no, that's so ridiculous. Don't go be an accountant because some guy told you not to write. Write. If you want to, do it. Yeah.
Right.
I was
I
about
love
to
all that.
contradict our guest, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah, don't tell
Yeah.
me.
I know she's right. It is one of the hardest gigs you get. But
It is
I
a
remember,
hard gig.
Yeah.
right, but if you love your gig, then you love your gig. It doesn't really matter. It's not hard to you.
Yeah.
I remember I read one time that they were like on Facebook. Yes, I just dated myself. I said face and book.
No,
Oh,
honey.
it's for business. No, you
It's
gotta
a
do it.
business.
I'm ancient. It's okay.
I scrolled up and it was like writing. It's like having homework every night but failing at it. I was like,
Oh,
true, but yeah, nah. It doesn't
but
feel
it's the
like
homework I want to do. I love to do it. Even
Right.
when it's hard, it's like good hard. You
Oh, yeah.
know?
And then
It's
when
not
you're
like
done,
do your taxes hard.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah,
different.
it's not like that. It's
where you
like,
Yeah.
drag for 11 months.
yeah, like, I just finished.
That
the
This
book.
is not that.
And not
Yeah.
that bad.
No.
Okay, so where can people find out more about you? Leave you wonderful reviews and sign up for this coaching.
Yeah, so my website is CamillePagan.com, CamillePagan.com. And my coaching website is evenbetter.co, C-O. Yeah, and it's all there. If you go to Camille Pagan, you'll get the links to the Amazon pages, books, description, even the coaching site. It's all there.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
coming on the
Oh,
show.
this is so fun. My most fun interview in ages. You ladies are amazing.
We won a prize, I
Okay.
think.
No, we hear
You
that.
did.
Hey, we did. We
God.
won a prize. Yay, that's exciting. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and wrap us up. You can find out everything you ladies are doing at www.andithoughladies.com. While you're there, take a moment, go to the middle of the page and see the charities that we probably support. Hopefully you can support them also. We thank you in advance for that. And just remember, y'all, wisdom is all around you if.
You're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys. From Will Nona.
And Jade, bye-bye. Oh, yeah, thanks for listening.